just out back. I got some ribs on the smoker. Got my liquid death just fucking piling up.
There's a word for that. Living.
We are fucking living, bud.
That's tight, dude. Ribs on the smoker. See, I need to get on that game. Like, there's part of me that's like, and my wife's like, babe, we kind of live in like a small condo complex. Like, we've been here for fucking 15 years, but like, people aren't going to be that stoked if you're just smoking meats all the time. And I'm like, yeah, but who cares? Who cares?
But fucking, it's just got to be done sometimes, man. Holy shit.
Restless Mike's he's down with the smoked meats. He's dropping a quick little 25.
Oh, just a casual 25.
Casual 25. Woo-hoo! Caleb, I'm going to tell you, Restless Mike, this is modest for Mike.
Holy fuck.
This is modest.
Shouts out Restless Mike, the fucking king.
Dude, the king of kings. Dude, the other day I was watching the zebra Space Zebra World stream, and he just dropped like a casual hundo. It was just like,
oh my god, dude.
Just killing it. He either does really well in stocks or has a really good job. One of the two.
One of the two.
Maybe both. Maybe both. Maybe his really good job is doing really, really well in stocks.
That is also very possible. It's a hot time right now. It's a hot time.
Crypto, baby.
Anyways. Oh, I'm in, brother. I'm in. I got in crypto a while ago, dude.
See, a couple of us got like barely in. I didn't get that far in. Dan and his brother got pretty deep, but they're like big stock guys. And but yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. Have you heard? I mean, are you up on like the NFT stuff at all? Like the NFT art?
Mm-mm.
Okay, there's like this NFT. It's called like it stands for like non-something, whatever token, non-fungible token. A lot of artists are doing like NFT art drops where like you'll create a non-fungible token, which is essentially like an image or a 10-second video with music, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And essentially, people can purchase it like they would like Bitcoin or something like that, and like to whatever kind of capacity they want, and then they all have ownership over that thing you created forever, and they can then resell it or trade it or whatever. It's essentially crypto art, but
that's sick.
But like musicians are doing it, like bands with like versions of their artwork and this and that, and blah, blah, blah. I'm still learning and I'm really, really curious. It sort of makes my head hurt a little bit because I'm like, well, wait, what are you buying? But it's like, it's just in that whole, it's like in the more like blockchain world of like, you're creating something to have ownership of, you know?
Holy shit. Yeah, that's fucking cool, man. Just like a little snippet of, I would just make like a snippet of a blast beat and just chaos for like 10 fucking just
for sure.
Like, here you go. You NFT. Can do now this. You do whatever you want with this. It's yours.
Yeah, you own this digital piece of history. Dude, it's been so long since we've hung out. It's been long since we've talked. But it's good to see you, man. How have you been? Obviously, I follow you on social media. I see what's going on this and that. But how has everything been in the world of Caleb?
Yeah, man, it's been all right. Obviously, been an interesting year, but we got super fucking lucky with our timing of everything. So like our album Disease, the cycle ended on our last show was on March 6th that of 2020. And that was the end of our cycle. And we were out in Europe. We finished that tour. It was great. And we were already going to take, 6 months off, 8 months, do the album. And so, I mean, for that, we got pretty lucky with timing because we like kind of planned everything and that kind of worked out. But it just turned into me having way too much time to think about this album. So it was like, I wrote a shitload of the record out on the road and finished up a big chunk. And then it was just like months of, I would go down and listen to it and be like, it's just white noise at this point. Like I've heard these
like,
songs
am I there yet?
Yeah, just so many times. But eventually it got finished. We have a single coming out soon, like really soon, which is really exciting.
That's tough.
It's like finally becoming real. People are actually, there's Reading is back on apparently this year.
Dude, yeah, fucking I saw Architects posting their like 2 UK record release shows in like June, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, you're playing shows?
Yeah.
Like that's fucking crazy.
I want.
Like
So
we've been in the same
so badly.
We're in the same exact boat. Like our last show of the cycle essentially was in Australia at the end of February, beginning of March.
Wow.
And we literally played our last show in Australia, and like the second to last show, like on the news, it was like, oh, first case of COVID hits Australia. And we're like, oh, fuck, glad we're getting out of here. Like, that'll never go to the States. And then got back and obviously fuck everybody. But yeah, I think we had literally one show got canceled. We were supposed to play some show in like Indonesia, and it got canceled. That's like the only thing. And we had already started an album in January and had gotten like pretty far in that. And then we were going to finish like in March. We ended up not finishing till like June. But yeah, I mean, same thing. It's like, well, we weren't supposed to be anywhere anyways,
Yeah.
So it worked out.
Yeah, we got lucky, man. We only had to cancel, I mean, a handful of events. We had a few, radio gigs, a few festivals. Dude, something that is nuts, actually, that I have a pretty funny story. So we were supposed to, did you hear the whole thing about like Smash Mouth playing the show in like North Dakota back in like whatever? It was like them and I don't remember who else it was. Maybe them and like Trapped before like all of the craziness went on. But they play the show and all this footage is going out. Nobody's wearing masks. It's just a full club. This is in like August or I don't know, July.
In the thick of it.
In the heat of it. So us and Motionless in White were supposed to be playing that show. And literally
with Smash Mouth.
No, like like in place of Smash Mouth.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were supposed to play that gig, and I think it was like a month out, we were just like, the promoter's like, no, North Dakota, it's like nobody's gonna care. It's totally cool. Like
I love how that's the nobody's gonna care.
Yeah, and also it's like a Sturgis motorcycle rally. So I'm like, all right, what are we gonna be looking at if we actually do this? And yeah, about a month, 3 weeks out, we were just like, we're not fucking doing this. This is so sketch. Like, no way. And then apparently they got Smash Mouth, and Smash Mouth just took that bullet. So
hey, bro, that's high praise. Instead of Beartooth and Motionless, Smash Mouth.
Yeah, I mean, it works.
Hey, works. You're
same scene. Same scene, same vibe.
Same shit, yeah.
Totally works.
I remember like years back, we did like a bunch of this is like a decade ago. We did a bunch of festivals in Europe, and Wolfmother canceled, so we got all of their slots. Like we were on all the festivals, and we got bumped like crazy up on like 4 different festivals, and we're like, dope, but like we're the first band that they thought of past Wolfmother, like cool.
Those are the things you never question.
Yeah,
those are
like,
those
yes,
moments.
we will.
It's like abso-fucking-lutely. Dude,
yes,
we got a really cool tour because of that. I won't like say the names, but it was a huge tour.
Yeah.
And we got an offer that was like, 1 of 3 or 2 of 4 or something. Yeah. And we were just like, the money wasn't good. We were like, we can't make it work. And then they came back like a week later and we're like, yeah, we're just going to scrap the direct support. And if you guys just want to do direct and have all their guarantees, then we're like, okay,
yes,
sure,
absolutely,
happily.
That shit
so yeah,
is great.
Every now and then, dude, you just get those little magic moments.
You get the hookup. On that same run, we played some festival in like Norway or some shit that we weren't supposed to play, and the guarantee for that show ended up funding the entire tour. Like it was like, cool, that if we play this show, we're break even from that show. We got added. We played direct support to Cypress Hill, and then ended up hanging and smoking weed with Cypress Hill, which I mean is kind of a like that never happens in life. And if it does,
I mean it's like Snoop Dogg and Cypress Hill of like people to smoke with. They're like, I don't know, they might be in tandem.
Exactly.
Like that's a legendary moment, dude.
Yeah, it was good. I'm being corrected. We did have to cancel 2 festivals, one of them being Aftershock, but it's just happening this year instead.
Yeah, but a bunch of shit just got moved, which is nice.
Yeah. It's funny. They're like, oh, because we're playing the MCR day on Aftershock. Think about being Mike Hem. You come back with the most triumphant reunion of like all time. You just sell out arenas around the entire world like that. And then it's like,
Just kidding.
Just gonna have to wait
Just
on that.
fucking kidding. Dude, that blew my mind. Like, don't get me wrong, I know MCR is god tier, huge band. But when they put up, I mean, like, big fucking arenas, like the real deal,
Yes.
it was instant.
Gone.
Instant. And like hundreds of dollars for tickets. Like, no bullshit.
Yeah. Dude,
it was crazy.
Some of the UK shows, it was like either Wembley or something like that, but it was like night 1 gone, night 2 gone, night 3 gone. Like, it was just like, excuse me. The Forum too. Then there was like 4 nights at the Forum, or 3 or 4 nights, something like that. It was like, what? I'm the same way, where you're like, I know they're massive, but like, I didn't realize.
Yeah, I didn't realize they're 4 nights at the Forum, 3 nights at Wembley. Like, holy, that's like fucking Foo Fighters shit. That's crazy.
Yes. It's fucking insane. I love
That's sick.
That's good though. I mean, it's good that it's funny. We are. This will probably be the second time, sort of, that we're gonna have some coinciding cycle, because we put out Save Us a few months ago. We have a single coming out. Well, they play on the radio today, but it comes out tomorrow night, essentially. But yeah, we're gonna be close fucking cycle buddies, which is a fantastic thing.
That means hopefully we're on all the same festivals. We can get some fucking runs going.
Exactly.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on like when touring does come back? Because obviously this has crossed every band member's mind, where you're like, okay, when they say, cool, go ahead, you're good, everything's open, you can play shows again. And then we start doing so, and you figure out what that actually looks like. Like, how promoters are approaching that, how capacity issues have to be adapted, how this and that. It's like, I'm wondering, like, how different do you think it's going to be?
Dude, I don't know. I have a strong feeling that deals are going to get completely restructured now.
I think there's going to be a lot of door deals.
Yes, a ton of door deals, because, I mean, there's just no way they're going to pony up front like a sellout, like a club you sell out every time. Yes. And they just give you the sellout offer, no back end. They're just like, here you go, we know what's going to happen. Yeah. I think those days are gone. I think now it's at least for a while. Yeah. 100%. And then, like, I'm wondering what the shows are even going to look like, because, how are we as bands going to be able to afford to put on the big show? You know what I mean? Where we have the truck and the bus and like, you know what I mean? I'm very curious to see what this landscape is like. If it's just going to be one of those, you kind of got to grind it out and just bare bones it for a while, or if like there's somehow, or it could be that people are just so fucking stoked out of their minds that shows are back that the shows are just going to sell.
Yeah, I think they'll sell. Yeah. But then again, there's the other argument that like the market's going to be so incredibly flooded that literally every fucking band on earth is going to be trying to tour at the same time. But I think what it's going to come down to is, not only, because I think there'll also be some form, at least at first, of capacity issues. So say we're playing a 2,000 cap venue that would sell out a 2,000 cap. Cool. Now you're going to do that room, but we're only letting in 1,200 people.
Yeah.
Which obviously means the guarantee is going to be less. Even on a door deal, it's going to be less. But I think that what's going to have to happen is it's going to be bands like teaming up, where it's like, okay, like hypothetical, Atreyu Beartooth does a tour. We share crew, we share lights, we share, you know what I mean? We share a bunch of shit so that we can actually afford to put on a great show. You know what I mean? And like do shit like that. I
totally agree. Like one of our last tours, the last tour we did in the States was in January, and it was just a dead down the middle co-headliner with Motionless in White. Yeah. And it was honestly one of my favorite tours I've ever done. Because like usually co-headlining, there's some sort of, this band has to close and they have all these things that you can't use. There's always some hierarchy. But literally with that tour, it was just, no, that's cool. It's like everything was just split down the middle. Yeah. We split production. That we would bring up cabs and they would have these big like industrial fan looking things. We shared stage. A crew, everybody's just kind of we shared a truck, everybody's just loading in and out together. Like it was just one giant unit. And I was like, man, that is the way to fucking do it. Like it's tough sometimes to find like the perfect band that has like the right numbers and like everything is fair to like really split out. But yeah, dude, I think you're right. I think that's going to be a huge way to do it
100%.
and make a fucking kick-ass show for everybody going. Yeah, without just getting completely drained of cash.
For sure. We literally did the same exact thing like 6 months before, or whatever it was. Us and Motionless did the same thing. It was like co-headline. We shared gear. We like our LD did both bands. Like it just worked out well. Where it was like, and you change the stage around a little bit, and she did our lights differently, obviously, so where it looked like two different shows. But it was like it just fucking worked. It just worked.
It's great, and it's so cohesive, and like even as a show, I think it's cool to see bands that are like similar bands and similar, you know, sizes splitting production. It's just kind of like you're getting an experience you would never get at a headline show, where it's like you're getting both of these headline bands that are coming together to put on one like kick-ass show, and then eventually, you know, people start going up and singing with each other and playing parts with each other, and it just ensues from there. And like, man, they're still some of the most fun shows and like hangs I've ever had in my fucking life, man. I think you're very right that that's probably going to be the way of the future.
I think at least for a little while. You know what I loved about the Motionless thing, and it may be sort of for you guys too. Like we're like a bit of a, I wouldn't say a party band, but we're like a lighthearted, like live especially, like kind of party band. Like we're just up there. It's not like super serious. You guys aren't either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like our diehards are just like, yeah, man, Atreyu's sick. Like they love the band, but they're just like party. But then I love when bands have this because it says something about the band. But your perspective, did you love goth front row Motionless diehards?
Oh my God, dude!
Like a handful of mostly like a handful of like girls and like their goth boyfriends were like super goth, and then essentially like fuck you, I'm here for Motionless.
Oh yeah, and like the thing, another thing that was crazy. Like I don't know how much I'm sure you know because you've toured with them, but their like fandom is wild.
It's nuts.
And their diehards are like a cult. It's crazy.
Yes.
And we did split VIPs for that tour, which was, so we did 2 of like, you know, the walkthrough and pictures and, you know, chat and hang out. And it was so funny because like there were just certain nights that, you know, we'd do the thing and it'd be like, yeah, there's a good 80% of you that literally do not want to even have to take a picture with us. And like
100%.
And we're like, I'm like, that's totally cool. Like, I get it. That's fine. Like, let us just play for you and hopefully you like it afterwards. But it was hilarious, man. Their fans are diehard. But
for real.
During the show, they were super fucking cool. Like, their fans were really dope. And, you know, everybody just had fun. And, like, it was perfect, man.
Just knowing and like our dudes are just fucking goofy. So like there would be those like it would be like between 4 and 8 people front row. That was just like usually like goth chicks. And they're like, I just want to see Chris. I want to give him roses. I'm here for the real deal. But by the end of it, like they would be laughing and like having a good time because everyone in our band would be like only focused on them the whole show. Just
absolutely.
Like shaking in their face, and Porter would just be like talking to them, like playing songs, like having conversations. And like, okay, I guess I'm on board. But same thing with the VIPs. It was just like there would be nights where like a lot of it was like even-ish, but there'd be nights where we're just like, fucking hell, like it's fucking real.
We're just gonna hang out.
Yeah, there's a correlation with makeup there. Bands that wear makeup. Every band I've ever known that has at least had like a phase where like they wear makeup or they dress like over the top, like a Motionless or AFI or, you know, all these bands. It's like the fanatic thing, MCR, is crazy for those bands. I think there's some sort of tie together.
Oh, yeah. I don't know, man. It's just like, I think honestly MCR might have kind of started that, like with the, you know, the takeover of Hot Topic and like the Hot Topic emo kid being like everywhere. And like, you know, all of my friends and when I was a kid, I mean, and even this is, you know, a bit past their time, but yeah, dude, that was what you did. You go to fucking Hot Topic and you dye your hair black and you got your striped shirt. Your studded belt. Yeah.
Dude, Restless Mike said, he's like, dude, I wore eyeliner because of Dan. Like
Hell
we used to
yeah.
be that band too. Like we just kind of laid out. Dan still wears makeup on stage, and I'll hit some eyeliner every now and then, but not like
Yeah.
we used to. It's just maybe it's time to it's time to bring it back, guys.
Dude, I agree, man. Fucking, there was one show on the last show of that co-headliner, me and Chris, like I got my face painted all motionlessly, and then he like just wore a jean jacket and a bandana.
Yeah.
And we just like swapped for the night. But that one show where I was wearing all the makeup, I was like, I feel powerful. Like this gives, dude, I know. I'm because I've never played with makeup before.
Yeah.
But when I went out there with the full makeup on, I was like, I feel thoroughly more badass than I do without it on.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I wish I could pull off full makeup. Maybe I'll slowly transition. But dude, there's power in it, man. There's fucking power. Makeup. That would be sick.
full Peter Chris.
Yep. Fucking just cat. I just go out with cat face. Yeah. Just like, wow, that's
not like Kiss, though, just like an actual cat.
Like actual cat. Yeah, not the Kiss cat. Just
it's a vibe. It's a vibe. Anytime I've ever played a show in some sort of focused, like intentional look, whether it be makeup or like, dude, we did that Disrupt festival, and the entire summer I was wearing like cruising party shirts, like floral party shirts, like buttoned down to like my belly button, just
damn
like
right.
80% big dude chest all over the place, and like a fat gold chain. I felt like a fucking boss, like that, and like a strong cocktail before stage, and I was like, I'm untouchable, bro. Like, everybody, look what I'm working with, man. It does something. It's that.
Dude, the outfit is important, man.
Yeah,
the outfit is fucking important. Even like I got into bandanas a while ago, and like having the right one for the right show matters. The right jacket. I don't know. There are certain shows. It's like, dude, back in the day, like Warped Tour 2014, there were days where I looked fucking like a homeless person on stage. Because, we're just young and shot, and we're all just like partying the whole time. And I'd be like, oh, fuck, we got to play. Go over to the stage in like, a 2XL long sleeve t-shirt and like a neck deep shirt and some random band's shorts.
Yep.
And just like get up there and do it. And then eventually I was just like, I should probably care a little bit more about my appearance.
All of a sudden your band started going,
yeah, we started caring a little bit, and that was the push we needed.
I love that shit, man. That's so funny. It's true though, man. It's just fucking true. Like Dan, our guitar player Dan, is like, he doesn't like doing anything without his bandana, because he wears like the Japanese hakamache like thing.
Dude,
and
that's
like,
been his look forever, man.
Forever. And he's like, or like maybe change it up, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do new bandanas. Like he'll make them. Like he has custom ones now every cycle with like our appropriate logos and this and that coloring, and it's like, that's just his fucking shit. Like,
hell yeah, straight
up. And it's like, cool. Like, and it's like his armor, man. He goes out there without it, he just feels fucking weird.
Dude, I completely agree, man. Like there was one show, it was before Rockin' Park, huge set, and I was tying on my bandana like I do. The intro's playing, I'm tying it on, and like one of the things like rips, like I'm in the knot, and I mean we're on in 30 seconds, and I'm literally like freaking out, and I basically just like fucking have to undo it and just like yank it. Yeah, just come on, just fucking work. But yeah, dude, that was the moment where I realized, like, oh shit, this is like my power. This, if I don't have this, I am nothing. I need this.
Yeah, 100%.
It just gives me a sense of like confidence and energy, and there's something about it where when I put it on before the show, I have the same routine. I soak it in the most ice cold water I possibly can. I tie it on, and then the water like drips down, freezing cold, and that's the moment where I'm like, okay, it's fucking go time.
I'm ready to go.
Let's do this.
Hell yeah! See, I love that. I love that. Dude, last summer we went out to Europe, and it was essentially the lineup we have now: me up front and Kyle on drums. Mm-hmm. And like I've obviously fronted Hell or High Water for years, but it's just a different energy. The shows are bigger. Like there's more of a weight to it, And it was the same thing where it was like we're playing fucking Summerfests in Europe, but I'm like leather jacket, gold chain, got my rings on, and I'm like getting armored up to be like, okay, cool. And the first fucking show was Slam Dunk. After one rehearsal, we go play Slam Dunk, and literally like first 20 seconds of the song, my fucking in-ear pack falls off, and I like
no.
can't get it back. I'm like, I can't get it, so I just pull my ears first song. I'm like, cool, here we go. In my head, I'm like, oh yeah, that I have to secure that better because I'm not sitting down all the time. But like, you know what I mean? And you're like, fuck no. But it was like, okay, still got my rings and I still look cool. So just go out there and do it.
But do you guys still do wedges as well? Because I know you way back when we toured, at least you guys did wedges.
I did.
I know you would do like 1 ear in, but
yeah, I started doing that out of necessity because I had like on one of my tours, like one of my ears went out, it broke. So I was just doing 1 ear for click, and then I would have it in my shit, and it was amazing because there's nothing like that, wedge sound. And then we kind of ditched it because we ended up all going digital. Like everyone's on Kempers and Porter's on like just like a DI, like dark glass. And then so it was like I'd be the only wedge on stage really. So it was like I cut it and just dialed in a decent ear mix. So it was like, okay, now I'm
just started getting used to it. Yep.
Yeah. Luckily,
dude, I'm still not used to it, man. I still have a problem.
You need it's really hard to get like a really nice warm in-ear mix that doesn't sound blown out, because the only way the main thing I think you're missing is crowd. And like if you blast crowd, then everything else sounds like dog shit.
Dude, we used to do crowd mics. We only did crowd mics for like 3 shows. And then it was just like, this is so muddy. Like I spent a lot of time dialing in all of our mixes and just trying to make it sound as much like the record as possible. But like we'd throw in the crowd mics and it was just nonsense. And we didn't have a monitor guy with us because we're like, dude, we don't need somebody like riding faders and all this. We're not big enough for that. And so now what I do is I have my ears mix that honestly, and I've done this for years with my ears, I feel more comfortable with my ears kind of feeling just like earplugs than with them really turned up. So like what I'll do, I'll crank them for the first song. And then after that, I just turn them off and I'll turn it on for, my count ins and then I'll have it really low. But we have side fills, we still have a ton of amps on stage. Like we play really fucking loud. We have a really loud stage. And I do 4 D&Bs down front, only vocal, just blasting.
Okay. Yeah.
So like I still get that warmth and that like air moving. Yeah. But it is excessive. Like I know it's excessive. It would be infinitely easier to not have to lug around and deal with all these wedges. But I don't know. That's my one thing, man. I gotta have my wedges fucking pounding like the good old days. Even if I have ears in and
That's that old school shit, man. Loud music is king. See, like a lot of my band, like Dan has tinnitus, so he's got the hissing, and like I think Porter might have a little bit or somewhat, but everyone's obviously like concerned about it. So like we don't even rehearse. Like we were rehearsing for our live stream events for like months, and after the fact, Dan's like, "Yo, we need to get electric drums because this room's too small, and I can't." Like I go home in pain every night after we rehearse because the drums are so fucking loud. So it's like we might even switch to that. It's the most unfucking punk thing ever, but life, dude.
Yo, it's real. And like that's my whole thing is I'm really glad that I started doing it when I was young, because even back in Attack, that's what I did. I just got used to basically having my ears super quiet because back then is when I started getting serious about mixing. Yeah. And I was like, all right, I got to learn how to fucking keep my ears in line. So I basically kind of trained my brain to get adrenaline off of the sound pressure and not from any volume in my ears. So I basically just have on huge earplugs, but the stage is so loud that it kind of balances it to like a comfortable thing. For sure. But the feel up there is what gets me going. Like a dead stage scares the shit out of me, man.
It's brutal, man. It's really fucking brutal. I was thankful that, and I ended up for the rest of that run, most of the festival dates, I would end up taking my ears out because especially on like a massive festival stage, side fills are fucking cranking. Front of house you can hear because it's such a big PA anyway. So it's like, this sounds so good. Like,
and it's great. And that is different than playing in a small club. Like your ears are not, the drums are a mile away. Like you're not going to be getting as much damage at all, if any, from playing on a festival stage, unless you're like a Motorhead or some crazy psychopath. But yeah, dude, a festival stage with good monitors at like a comfortable level and you can still hear all the crowd, that is peak. That is the ultimate.
That's like small group COVID. You're fine. Outdoor, 6 or less, ears are going to be fine. Not going to get COVID either.
Yeah, it's a fact.
Where do you is shit open where you live? What's the?
Yeah, we only shut down. I'm in Columbus, Ohio. We only shut down for a little while, but we have really high restrictions and people actually follow them, which is nice. So like, still you got to have a mask on to go anywhere.
Yep.
Go in anywhere. There is indoor eating, but it's all, spread out and whatnot. I have not really partaken. I treaded the waters like one time for Tom, Gutchess, and Ashi. They did a birthday thing somewhere, so I went out to eat with them.
Yeah.
And then I stayed home for like 3 weeks just to be sure. And then, I went to like Top Golf once or twice and, things like that. But in the sake of like the economy and things being shut down and whatnot, it's really not bad. Like everything's moving along pretty nicely. And cases are actually like starting to really go down. And I mean, even worldwide, dude, like this vaccine shit is really happening, which is so exciting.
I'm just, that's all I'm waiting for. Because it's funny, because like,
oh my god, dude, yes.
When it came out, like you have certain people that are just like, oh, I'm not getting that shit, whatever, and like whatever. It's like, bro, stab it in my eyeball, give it to me.
Yeah, I don't give the entire music industry. It's just like I don't give a fuck. Like whatever I need.
I had a discussion with my barber. Like he's a friend of mine, but this is like a couple months ago. Like this is in like November or something. And we're talking, and he's like, "Yeah, it sucked like with the shutdown because I hadn't gone in to get like I get a beard trim, and he razor shaves my head. It's the most manly moment I have in my life. But so he's like, "Yeah, I hadn't seen it in a while." I was like, "We got shut down for a while, and it sucked. We were closed for like a couple months, blah blah blah." So I was having to like do house calls and whatever. And he's like, kind of trying to tell me this like little bit of a sob story, and I'm laying in the chair, and I'm like, hey man, like, cause he's my buddy too. I'm like, with all due respect, like, go fuck yourself. And he's like, whoa, like, what do you mean? And I'm like, bro, you're back. We're currently in your work, and I am paying you for a haircut. I'm like,
yeah,
I am last on the list. Last, like, after everyone else, they'll be like, yeah, okay, I guess we'll give shows back now. I was like, so like, kindly go fuck yourself. Like, dude, you cannot complain.
Yeah, the entertainment business got fucking hit so hard. Like, I still don't think people grasp, like, what that means for all of us. It's like, why do you think you see so many of us on Twitch all the time now? Because we literally need to make a living. This is our job. Like, our job is going out and touring.
Entertaining.
Entertaining. That's how we get paid. And no one's been able to do that since March.
Yeah.
So, like, And for the entire entertainment industry, fucking Broadway, like any of this stuff, any gathering has just been gone. And
for sure,
it's been brutal.
I'm ready, dude. I'm so ready. It's going to be good. I'm excited.
Holy shit. Yes.
Our first thing we have now is Aftershock. I feel like there will be some shit that will get booked before then. But like we had the kind of dilemma for a while where we were like, we're not putting out the album until touring's at least like planned to be back.
Yeah.
But then it kind of came to where it was like, we're just not going to sit on this record forever. Like, what if that's not another year away? Like, nobody really knows. It was like, like people still want music, especially in our like state where like we have a new lineup and new change. Like, people want to hear what that sounds like, or else they're going to be like, oh, they changed, and then I didn't hear anything. So we'll see someday what that's like, So it's like we just fucking went with it. Obviously you guys are in the same boat where it's like starting to release songs and this and that,
man. Like we were at the point, I think originally, man, we were going to try and be doing a headliner like, October 2020, like with the new record out.
Same.
And then, and we're like, we just can't put it out without being able to do some sort of shows. Like we just can't do it. And then, because so many bands got totally screwed where like they had their dates out and then they just had to drop their record. And, it's cool for a week or two. And then everyone's like, all right, well, that's it. Like, I'll listen to the record, but I can't enjoy this live. I can't enjoy this with friends. Like, I don't really know what I'm going to do. So yeah, we were in the same boat and we're just like, all right, let's push it. Let's push it. And then we just hit the wall and we're just like, all right, fuck. Like, we got to do something. We got to do something because we're all losing our fucking minds right now.
For sure.
So yeah, we're putting it out and we're just hoping that we can tour.
Yeah, I think at this point, at least fans are used to what this is now. So they're like, cool, at least, you know, they'll get involved in the pre-orders and the merch and the maybe a live stream event or this and that, whatever. Maybe a drive-in show, like whatever, until there's something. But we did the same thing. And Porter actually had a really good point because, like, for us, we're putting out this music, and this is a very energized time in our band. Like, the five of us are very, like, eager and energized to, like, go out and fucking do the damn thing. For obvious reasons. But he's like, I don't want to wait forever. He's like, the record's been done since, like, midsummer. At this point, like, I could go in and make another record tomorrow if we needed to.
Yeah.
Like, we all are, like rearing to go. We're all inspired. Like, we could go back in with Feldy and make another album that came out when touring did. You know, he's like, it's not like this is the last record we're ever going to put out. Like,
yeah, absolutely, man. I think that was honestly a thought I had when people started putting shit out, like early COVID. I was like, you know what? Like, these bands should just think about doing another album. It wouldn't be the worst idea. Like, if your timing was so early on that you didn't get to live with it, like, people are technically going to have lived with that record for a year to a year and a half before you even get to play shows on it. Yeah. Like, fuck it, just go back in, crank out another one, and see what people do. You know what I mean? Be like, all right, well, now we basically have 2 unseen records that we get to play singles from at your show.
Boom.
So,
2 nights every
It's not a bad idea, man. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. I don't feel – I feel like we will end up starting – like, we will start writing again soon. I bet you we start writing again before the record even comes out.
Yep.
Because it's like, why not?
I literally just started writing for the next album 2 days ago. I wrote the first song. It was like, all right, well, I guess I'm in this headspace now. Like,
if it's coming out, it's coming out. You know what I mean? It's like, why? We're not lacking creativity here. I know a lot of bands, it's like writing records is fucking painstaking, and it's like, whew, we got out 11 songs, and that's all we had. But, like, we're not that band. I don't think you guys are that band. Like, sometimes there's spells, but especially the way we do records, it's very much in the moment. It's like, what do we do? You've been in the studio with Feldy. It's like, what are we doing today? Cool. You have an idea? I have an idea. This? Cool. Let's do yours. Awesome. Boom. Song. Next day. Yep. Song. Next day. Song. Like,
and that's the great thing about working with somebody like Feldy. Like, he is, you know, one of the most individual, and, like, you got to know this dude and know what you're getting into. If you're at least, like, if you're a rock band with, you know, a lot of heads involved and stuff.
Yeah.
Even, like, dude, when I first started working with him, first time I worked with him was in the Attack days at his old place. His old place.
Bel Air?
The Bel Air spot.
Yeah.
That's when we started working together. And I walked in there also fucking terrified because this is John Feldman. I'm like 17, 18 years old.
Yep.
And he just hands me a guitar, like an acoustic, and he, you know, gives me like a fucking quadruple shot of coffee, hands me an acoustic, and he's like, all right, what's your song?
What do we got?
And I was like, and I like started playing this little bit that I got. And he was like, great. Takes the guitar, goes away for 10 minutes. He's like, all right, I got it. And then we just go in and cut this track. And he's just like this fucking manic, like, director, like, all right, do this. Yeah. And then afterwards you're like, I don't know what just happened, but this is a really good song. Like, this is fucking sick. And just having somebody like to direct you in that way and with that much enthusiasm and energy, man, it's always like a fun, lot of memories made in that studio. But also it's kind of hard to even remember what happened because it's such a caffeinated blur.
Yeah, we did lead sales at the Bel Air house. But it's funny because I remember, like, back in the day, there's been 2 people that Feldy has been like, you need to meet this dude. Like, you guys are the same. First was this dude, Jason Evigan, who's just like he used to be in this band called After Midnight Project. He's a massive writer and producer now. He does, like, Nick Jonas, and, like, he has fucking Maroon 5. His credits are fucking bananas.
Yeah.
He's like, you're 2, like, tall, big dudes, like, big energy people. He's like, your mannerisms are the same. Like, the way you write is the same. and the other was you. He's like, you and Caleb.
Yep.
Like it's like the same fucking energy.
Dude, well, he didn't believe that I could play drums when I first came in there to do Beartooth stuff. And he was like, dude, get Brandon to play drums.
Yeah.
I was like, don't get me wrong. Like, I would love that, but like, please give me a shot.
Yeah.
It was so funny because I remember I went in there, and this is like the sessions where we did In Between, which is like our biggest song.
Yeah.
And we did like one other one. And I go in and, you know, we're just middying out drums, and we get the song together, and I'm like, all right, let's go track. And he's like, no, it's cool. Like, I'll get somebody to come in, like, and cut these drums. Cause dude, he does not fuck around when it comes to drums, man. Like, if you can't play, he tells you immediately you are fucking out, and he's gonna get somebody who can play.
Yep.
And I was just like, and then he's like, yeah, I'll get Brandon will do it. He'll fucking crush it. And I was like, God damn it. Well, now I know that I have to fucking nail this, or he's gonna bring Brandon in because Brandon's going to fucking nail it. Thankfully, I got through it though.
Yes.
And he actually was like, okay, you can play.
He literally, like, I remember the text. He was like, you want to come down and play this Beartooth record on? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. He's like, it's fucking heavy. It's like heavy rock shit. You'll kill it. I'm like, cool, let's do it. And then literally like the day of or the day before, he's like, yo, like, Caleb wants to play drums. He's like, sorry. I'm like, whatever, it's his fucking band. Like, whatever he wants to do. And like the next day or later in the day, he like texted me, was like, oh, the dude rips. Like, he's got it. I'm like, okay.
But yeah, that was the stakes. My stakes were high at showing Feldy that I could play drums. I was like, oh my God. Well, he said you or Pridgeon. And I was like, first off, like, Pridgeon is sick, but I don't need Pridgeon playing on a Beartooth record. No. Like, that dude is like Mars Volta.
He's out of his mind on drums.
He's a totally different animal. But yeah, man.
It's like fucking Imprada from fucking Fever.
Oh my God, dude.
I can't even understand what he's doing. I'm like, I can't even follow. I can't even follow.
Dude, I mean, even so, like, alone, just his Fever parts are really fucking cool.
Yeah.
But like when you watch him just doing his like solo stuff, just like his videos where he's like yelling into microphones and like rubbing cymbals
chaos pad and
fire and a chaos pad, and he's doing backflips the whole time. I'm like,
dude,
this dude has dedicated. He is way more than the 10,000 hours required.
Oh, he's
this guy is. Yeah,
it's like 10,000 hours like a year.
Yeah, that dude is unfucking believable. But we got to play a couple festivals with Fever, and I've known Stevis and Jason for a really long time.
Yeah.
But I'd never met Eric, and I met him, and he's just the sweetest dude, just real quiet, you know, just doing his thing. And then I watched him play, and I was like, who are you, man?
Yes.
Like, what the fuck? How are you capable of doing this every night and not dying?
It's unreal. It's unreal. Yeah. I literally get like sucked into his Instagram, and I'm like, what? Like, wait, let me watch that again. Like, it's unreal. I'm always like, I'm a meat and potatoes drummer.
Same.
Like, I am like, get in there, play solid, play hard. Maybe you're going to throw in like a little tricky hand move sometimes. Like, double bass is modest. I'm not fucking ripping death metal double bass. And it's like, that's just how I like to play. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So like dudes like that, I'm just like, fuck, how does your brain do that? It's crazy.
It's a different breed, man. I'm the same way as you. Like, obviously I have not played drums at remotely the same capacity, but you know, when I am only a studio drummer. That's the only time I play drums.
Yeah.
Is either at home or I one time every 2 years go into a studio and cut the Beartooth drums, and those are the only time I cut them. So all I've learned is, and also being a producer and like having to edit other bands and drummers and stuff, I was like, the only thing that fucking matters is that you play really tight and really hard, really consistent.
Yep.
And that's it, dude. And yeah, that's what I do. I'm like, Connor is, I don't know. It's really cool having him be our drummer, but it's also incredibly intimidating because I'm like, he is one of the, I mean, he's absolutely one of the best rock drummers that is alive today. Like, I fully believe that. Like the shit I've seen this guy do, I just can't even fucking fathom. But it's really cool, like the way it works, because you know the whole setup with like me recording and writing all the Beartooth stuff, and then it translating to live is that, you know, there's a spoken rule that like, do what, like, play it the way you want to play it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? As long as the patterns are right and the groove is there, fucking go nuts.
Go nuts, yeah.
And then, you know, and it always happens where like I'll put out the record and then a year into touring, like we have all of these little quips, like all these hits that we all do together and like all these little things. And then if I go back and listen to the album version, I'm like, oh shit, why didn't we do that? Or like, where's that part? Well, yeah, man, it really is an honor to get to like write drums, knowing that that guy's gonna kind of just take them and tear them apart into something totally new. It's wild.
He's one of the, I'm more impressed by Connor probably in the last like 5-6 years than I've been with any drummer, because, and I'll admit it, I've had literal like not arguments, but discussions with like Rosa and a couple people, because like back in the day when he first kind of like was getting on the scene and like people started to know who he was, in his more of his like youthful stage, I heard a lot of Aaron Gillespie in him. Like,
oh yeah.
Like, and I was like, yeah, this kid's, and I'm like, this kid's good, but like, he's good, but I hear a lot of Aaron Gillespie. I want to hear him. I want to hear him play drums. And Kyle's like, fuck you. He fucking rips. You're an asshole. And I'm like, I'm not saying he doesn't rip. I just want to like, that's what I look for in drummers, and like look for your own style. And then like, not even a year, I don't think, went by, a couple years. And it was like, whoa, like he has blossomed into this fucking animal of a drummer that only plays like himself. Like he is fucking so like signature with the way he plays that like he's turned into one of like my favorite drummers. And it's like, I'm stoked that he did, because I'm like, oh, like that's what I wanted. That's what I hoped for him as a drummer. And it's like, you did it because you're good, and that's what good drummers do. Like,
dude, it was really, it was so cool to see him grow up and grow into his own. Because I mean, dude, he started playing with us when he was like 19. I met him on Warped Tour 2015, and he was playing drums for Being as an Ocean. And I would just, every single day, I would go up there, I would go behind the fucking whatever, the scrims, and I would just watch him, because like it was basically just a show of improv. Like, dude, it was crazy, because that band is so loose and so vibey, and like that's their whole thing, that he could just go. Like there was no rules, no limits to him playing, and he'd never play the same thing twice. And I just couldn't believe it. And then I found out he also, you know, he's playing huge drums. He's playing like a 26-inch kick drum, like a 14, 18, and a 20, like a kick drum with a, you know, tom head on it. And all this. And I was just like, man, this guy's like, this is really cool. And then, you know, when he started playing for us, I basically was just like, I didn't really know how to approach telling him how to play for us. So I was just like, here's the songs. Just do whatever you want, and we'll see what happens. And the first few shows, like we would start getting lost as a band. And this is before, you know, and this is before we're on a click and we're on ears, and you know, we're just 5 dudes up there trying to hold it together. And I was just so not used to like the amount of improv. And then he slowly kind of focused into like, from being super wild and super unpredictable to being incredibly tasteful, which like has only just happened more and more. And he's gotten really into playing a lot of other styles. You know, he's in Nashville now, and he has a whole like really nice recording setup in his house. So he cuts country records, he cuts pop records, he cuts a lot of different styles of drums. And like every time we get together after a few months, he's always got some other like trick up his sleeve. And man, it's cool to see somebody so dedicated to that craft. Because like the way I approach music, obviously you're a lot more focused on drums because you played drums for so fucking long. But I know, you know, you're the same way. You write songs, like the whole, play it all, record it all. So like I assume we have similar mentalities when writing parts, where it's like, just what does the song need, not what would be like a crazy drum part or something like that. So, you know what I mean? It's just always cool to kind of write in that perspective, and then have somebody else like
take it
and go nuts.
That's literally, I will write a song and not know exactly what I'm doing when I go track the drums. And the drums usually, like, especially in like a feldy situation where it's like we're riding, cool, we have the idea, go lay down the drums. In our instances, damn, Mike, hold on a second. Mike's just dipping out, dropping another quick 25. Have a great day, Mike. Have a great day. Thank you, brother.
Fucking believable. 10 out of 10. 11 out of 10.
Yeah.
11 out of 10 good people.
I'll go for it. 12. 12 out of 10.
12 out of 10. I can agree. I can agree.
Thanks, Mike. No, but like I won't even know what I'm doing until I go in and do it. So usually it's like go track the drums and then do a scratch guitar and then we all kind of build from there. So like I don't even know what I'm doing. It's just whatever is in the brain, and then it's like, cool, I played it. And then when I go back and do like the actual take, I might be like, okay, like here's a cool spot for a fill, whatever. I might think more about it. But drums to me are the most underthought part of the record. Yeah. Like they just kind of exist. They just happen, you know? But
dude, it really is like when you're writing and you're in that zone, it's like you just need the groove. Yeah. And you get the groove and then the song comes together. I always do drums last. Very, very last thing whenever I'm recording. Always is drums. Because my philosophy on that is at least, you know, because I'm very well versed in writing MIDI drums because I've done it for so many sessions, writing for bands, writing demos, whatever. So like, you know, I'll just write your basic MIDI drums and then, you know, write the song around it. But then I notice as it progresses and as it really becomes the final product, there's always like, okay, we need a choke out here for this vocal or this guitar lick or whatever. And so, yeah, drums to me being, I mean, the fucking backbone of a song, I'm always like, this is the last thing I want to do because I need to have everything exact before I go in there and cut those drums.
That makes sense. That makes total sense. We've definitely had the instances where we go back, again, especially in a Felties thing where it's just set up and ready to go at all times. Yeah. Where it's like, oh, this guitar is like not working. Like, I wish we had a pause. It's like, well, let me just go play the pause real quick.
Just go punch in a pause.
And boom. Yeah, it's like, but same way. And we had, I mean, the same discussion with Kyle when he was learning everything for the live stream shows. And even like last summer was just kind of like thrown into the to the wolves because it was 3 or 4 days before we were leaving. It was like, can you learn? It'll be like 8 songs for the festival set and like 14 songs for the 8 songs plus like another, 6 for the headline sets. Yeah. You have 4 days. We're going to have 1 practice in the UK. So it was just like, all right, cool. And so then it was kind of like, do you, and if you're doing something completely wrong, I'll let you know, which I don't even think I did. It was just like, there was a couple things where he was like, what are you doing here? And I showed him and it was like, easy. But
he is a fucking beast, man.
He's an animal.
He's unbelievable drummer. He was the dude that when we toured with Dead American, me and Connor every fucking day we're just watching this dude play on the side, like in
he's
awe.
So fun to watch too.
Yeah, he's got so much character, and he's just good, man. And his drums sound fucking good. Yes, like the way he tuned his drums, I was like, damn, dude, like you are fucking on.
It's one of those things, though. It's like, you know how like guitar, like so much of the guitar sound is in the hand of the player. Oh, like you could play a dime bag riff through his guitar and his amp and his pedal board and everything. It's not going to sound like him playing. So it's like he's almost that way with drums. Like I've sat down on Kyle's drums and been like, these don't sound as awesome. Like it's just the way he hits the drums. But it's like we had the same discussion when he was learning more and more where it was like, do you, and then if you're missing like an accent or something, I'll let you know. But just I want you to play drums. And even like, and I was like in the studio too. I'm like, when you go into the studio, it's a bit of a whirlwind because like not only is John a freaking tornado, but like I'm also kind of a tornado. But like I'm like a bull of a tornado where it's like if I have an idea, Porter's in the chat right now could probably attest to this. If I have an idea and I have a vision and like everyone's agreed on it, I will plow through as far as you let me go. Like I will hit the drums, I'll track the scratch guitars, I'll hit the bass. Like it'll be like, and there's times where it's like, oh cool, do bass next, and Porter's like, I'm sitting right here. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, like yeah, of course, you play bass.
You just get in that mode where you don't even, nothing else exists. You're just like,
for sure,
fucking frantic. Oh yeah,
for sure. And I was like in the studio, like you're always gonna get the opportunity to like, I'm not going to be like, yeah, dude, sorry, I'm playing on the shit. Like, but you're gonna go. There might be times where I'm like in the studio and you're playing, and I'm like, can I just do one thing real fast and see if you like it? And I might play like a fucking pre-chorus and be like, yeah, that's whatever. And he's like, I don't care, man. He's like, dude, you guys have this dynamic for fucking decades. I just want to like put my input where it's there, or whatever. I'm like, no, but I want your input. You know what I mean? Like, I want your drums.
Well, that's cool, man.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I was listening to the new Dead American the other day, that's not out yet, and Kyle sent it to me and was just like, you know, asking me how I thought about it, and I'm listening, and there's some heavy shit on there, and I'm like, you wanna know what gets me most excited about this? I'm like, there's so many like Rosa drum parts, and there's so many Rosa riffs. Because like I know, I'm like, did you write that song? He's like, yeah. I'm like, you wrote this riff too? He's like, yeah. Like by now I know. I'm like, I can't wait to have Rosa riffs in Atreyu songs.
Oh yeah,
they're so different than anything that like I would do or Porter or Dan would write. You know what I mean? But
wait, so does he write riffs?
He does.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that.
And they're very signature. Like they're always like a rad, cool timing, heavy. Like he's like king of like the dope, heavy single string riff. Like he's an all around player, man.
He's a good
Porter's
guy,
like, I didn't know Rosa wrote riffs. Now you do. Now you do.
Yeah, holy shit. Yeah, man. Dude, how has your transition been? Like, how have you been finding it?
Super fun, but also super like overwhelming on one end, underwhelming on the other. Because obviously, you know, with this transition, I didn't make the decision to have me sing. There was a conversation that we had where it was like, what do we, you know, we're going through and it was like, do we get a new singer? Do we have you do it? I'm like, my opinion was getting a new singer was scary to me because you're introducing something completely foreign to something that's existed for a long time.
Yeah.
I was like, me singing to whatever capacity that is something, there's nothing unfamiliar. There's my voice and there's Porter's voice, which has been the whole time. I was like, but I'm not going to be the one to make that decision. I'm not going to tell you that I'm singing for our band. So the band made that decision. And so for me, it's been awesome to be like, I have like an honor to uphold. Like you've put this responsibility on me. So I have to uphold my end of the bargain. And so that's been a lot of fun. Playing the live stream shows was crazy because it's the first time that it was like, dude, I've been like training super hard with our trainer for like months. And I was like,
dude, you are always grinding, man. Bro, I see it. I'm fucking proud of you, dude. I
was in the best shape. Dude, I was in the best shape I've been in a long time before December. December and January completely fucked me over. That's another story. But killing it. But then getting on stage and like running around, like we had like, you know, this cool staging, and we were going off when we were playing those live stream shows. We're like, let's not worry about it. We all like play your shit right, but go play a show. And I'm like, damn, this is real. Like running around on stage is real and doing the whole damn thing. But it's been fun, but underwhelming where I just want to do it more. Like, I just want to go out and show the world like what we are now. You know what I mean? Because like we're confident 100%. In it, and like we got to do it a taste digitally, but it's like so far it's been a lot of fun. A lot of people think that everything is my fault, which okay. But so that's been a little bit of a beating mentally, but other than that, it's been super fun.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it sounds fucking fun. Have you? So I've done this before we did one drive-in show. I don't know, 6 months ago, and I literally was just back to bedroom practice, dude. Like I printed off like a piece of paper with like the Metallica Live in Moscow crowd and like put it up on my wall. And I would just like turn off all my lights in my studio, blast my fucking monitors and put some in-ears in and clear out the room. I'm literally just running around fucking
going for it.
Just because I'm like, dude, I got to get back in shape. Like I haven't played, we're playing, 17 songs. We're about to do like an hour and 40 and ice cold. Like, dude, it was terrifying, but in a way it was kind of fun to get back to that, just like going, I don't know, like doing the shit you did when you were 12, you know, just running around in your bedroom like a chicken with your head cut off. Yeah. Just being like pretending you're on stage. And I don't know, it just kind of like brought me back to earth. Like,
100%.
Holy shit, dude. I gotta like, I mean, another thing that I think COVID really did, and this is for obviously anybody who plays music, but I will never again take a fucking tour for granted ever, dude. Like having to go back to my only option being just running around in my bedroom after, you know,
Yeah.
coming off of our biggest tours of all time. I was like, wow, this is fucking, yeah, I got to be happy with anything we get from here on out and
100%.
never fucking complain again, dude.
Yeah, like, dude, because every band, like me, we've always been a band that's enjoyed ourselves. Like, our tour last summer in Europe was one of the most enjoyable tours we've done in so long. Everyone was just excited to be there. We were on like a shitty Euro bus, and it was like
Oh yeah,
stacked fucking shows because we were only there for like a few weeks. So it was like you had to play every fucking show to make this work. You know what I mean?
yep, absolutely.
You've been there, and it was
oh
like,
yeah,
and you see a lot of bands are always like, man, like it's like putting limitations on your band, which we have none anymore. Like, but we've had in the past like limits of like how long we can go to Europe and how long we can go to wherever, and it's like it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, you could see bands that are here for a while. Like last summer specifically, it was like you guys. It was like you guys went to Europe and did like every fucking festival, a bunch of fucking headline shows, whatever. And it's like, look at that. That's the show you can put on. You know what I mean? It's like,
dude, but I totally get it. We're like, you know, we're the same way. You know, like we only do this for this long, and we only do this many shows in a row. And now I'm just like, whatever. If I blow my voice out, then we're gonna play with a blown out voice.
They'll sing.
They'll figure it out. Like, I have a feeling that whenever touring comes back, we're just gonna tour for 2 years straight with like a couple weeks off in between. We're gonna get an offer like, hey, do you want to do the support slot? Sure. Do you want to then get back onto the bus and drive out west and then start a headliner? Great. Fly to Europe, do 2 months in Europe in the fucking sticks. Why not?
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, get me on a bus and get me rocking before I lose my fucking mind.
Yes, please. Same fucking way. We're all the exact fucking same. We cannot wait. You just said something that made me fucking think of. I thought of something and then I completely forgot what I was going to say. But it doesn't matter. Rocking. Talking about rocking. Yeah, but no, it's one of those things. Oh, I was going to say, me and my wife have been watching. There's a show on. It's like strangely on like CNN on demand. Thank you, Jessica, for subbing. It's Stanley Tucci searches for Italy or something like that.
Oh, I've heard about that. Yeah,
bro. It's not only is Stanley Tucci like one of the most slick motherfuckers on earth.
Oh yeah, sharp as a tack,
dude. You just look at the dude. You're like, God, you're just handsome and have it all together.
You are who I want to be when I'm your age.
Yes, yeah. But he's just going through every region in Italy, eating food and drinking, and I'm just like, I want nothing more than to go to Europe. I want to go to Italy.
That's like, what Europe is, man. Is you get your couple cases of whatever local beer you get that day. Yep. You get whatever the catering is, and you then go around, search, find some bars, find some cool food. And like, man, like that's another thing I will never fucking take for granted again is like, God, going to a place and being like, I don't, the food's a little off today or something. It's like, grow the fuck up.
Yeah,
like,
what are you talking about?
Like, Jesus Christ.
The food's off. Go eat somewhere else.
Figure it the fuck out. Yeah. Dude, reality just set in like a fucking bomb when COVID hit. I was like, I'm making some changes. And like, don't get me wrong, I was never fucking prissy or like I need this to perform or anything like that. But just the little gripes, the little human gripes that you have, I'm just like, I don't give a fuck anymore, dude.
Straight up. I'm the same way. It was like you're thinking about touring, like even my wife, who's like, I have a wife and 2 kids, and it's like, oh, like I want to go to Europe. Like, if I don't care for how long. And she's like, honestly, I don't even care for how long. Like, go do it. She's like, we'll fucking go rent a house somewhere in England or Italy or some shit, and then we'll come see you in the middle, and we'll have our own fun. Like, let's just go. Let's get out of here.
That's what you want right there, dude. That is what you want. When she's like, I just know you need this. And I could use it as well. So, like, you get out of here and fucking do your thing for a while.
Oh, you mean Euro vacation? This sounds great. This sounds wonderful.
All right, I do have to urinate worse than I ever have in my life. Give me about 30 seconds, and I will be right back.
No problem.
This fucking liquid death is running through me like crazy.
It gets you, bro. It gets you. I think he just said, ow. You guys can give me questions for Caleb while he's peeing. Just there on the chair. Just be on the chair. Give me questions for Caleb. I'll ask him when he returns. This is a fun conversation so far. I'm enjoying myself. Jessica, thank you for subbing. Thanks again, Restless Mike, for hitting a big 50 today. I'm gonna have to amputate. No, that's just you, bro. We're already on our way to the March Madness goal. We knocked out last month's goal, so let's just keep hitting it, guys. Do we break 100 day one? Is that what we do? I don't know. We'll see. Recording the lottery was like, I will ask him that. BPCG, you got it.
We're back.
Yes, that was the fastest pee ever. So I need to, like, per trainer's request, he's like, you need to be drinking at least a gallon of water a day, which to me is just hard. I just forget. So my wife got me this guy that has your times and whatever. I've never drank so much water in my life.
Dude, it's good shit, man.
Easily, man. It's so good.
Yeah, I don't know. I go through phases where sometimes I have my big water bottle and I'm like really on it.
Yeah.
And other times I'm like, I have not been drinking enough water. But dude, legit, like, I mean, I've never had this stuff, but they sent us like a few cases.
Yeah.
And dude, I'm literally just, I don't know, maybe if it's because it's in a can, it makes me feel like I'm on tour and like drinking beers or like drinking water on Warped Tour or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I was like, oh shit, I've drank like 9 of these fucking things today. And feel awesome. Hydration is king, dude. Hydration is king.
It's a big guy. It's a big guy. I asked people to send in some questions for you while you were gone. So I'm gonna ask you some questions from the chat. Big Pancake Guy wants to know what recording the lottery was like.
Oh man, yeah, that. So I recorded that on like a Beta 58 in our green room in Philly. That was the first tour that I brought out a recording rig on. Never ever brought out any recording stuff on tour. I always was very adamant, like, when we're on tour, we're on tour. When I'm at home, that's when I write.
Yeah. And
then I started fucking around with it. Little did I know, is literally the biggest inspiration that I could ever have is like playing a show and then the next day writing a song. Like it's great. Would highly recommend. But yeah, I just had, a little laptop rig and my little Focusrite interface. And I got hit up about it and I was like, oh shit, that's nuts, sick. And so Feldy hooked me up with Bert and we started talking. I've never met him before. I mean, I was just know of the legend.
Yes.
And he was just the sweetest guy. He was like, hey man, like here are, he didn't even write any lyrics for the part. It was just like, here's what the song is about and like kind of where the influences are and do whatever you want to do. And I was like, wow.
That's dope.
Wow. Okay. Sick. So yeah, I just, spent an hour and wrote the part and then I just tracked it about 20 minutes before we went on stage while I was warm. And that was it.
That's awesome.
That was how it went down.
That's legit. That's legit.
Yeah.
I love when that comes together. It's awesome when dudes give you freedom with that. Cause you don't know how, like if a band of that stature, if they're going to like give that, like relinquish that,
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I don't even know if it's most of the time, but a lot of features are like, here's what you're going to sing.
Yeah.
And which I love. I love, just being like, just sing this with your own flair and whatever. That's great. But yeah, occasionally when you get those that it's like, do whatever you want to do, write your own part. It's awesome, but it's also way more nerve wracking because you're like, I have no idea what they want and I'm just going to try and hopefully it's cool. Yeah. But yeah, they were all like super stoked about it. After they heard the part, they were like, man, this is really cool. And I felt very proud, but that was a cool feature to get, man.
For sure. No, that's awesome. So someone said, can you ask him to ask you to play the new Atreyu single right now?
Hey, could you play the new Atreyu single right now?
Yeah. I don't know the history really, so I don't know if this is a controversial question, but I'll ask it. They said to ask you your opinion on the new Attack.
New Attack. Oh man, I've been asked.
You also don't have to answer.
No, I know. It's all good. I've been asked this so many times. People,
I can imagine,
really care about what I think about their new stuff, and legitimately, I'm just like, well, first off, a bunch of people when they had announced that they were coming back, and I got hit up. My phone was exploding And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, people are asking me if I'm back in Attack, and we're like doing a reunion or like a new album. I was like, I was like, I'm busy. I don't know if you've seen what I've been doing, but like, I got a thing.
You see my schedule.
I got a thing that's pretty time consuming. And then I went online and saw that they were coming back. And I was like, oh, they're coming back. But yeah, I had no fucking idea. And then I heard the song and I'm like, yeah, I mean, good for them. Like I moved on to do my own thing, but like they want to go back and, they're recording with Sturgis again, like the old days. I'm like, good for them. Like more power to them. I could honestly, like, I have zero beef or concern or anything like that. It's like, dude, good for them. Yeah, and I looked on Andrew Whiting, the guitar player. I was like on his Instagram story. They were in like the Octane like hot tracks, like top 20 or something. And I was like, fuck yeah, like dude, good for you. Like nothing but love and do what y'all want to do.
That's good. That's good. This girl Sarah wants to know, how did the Blackbird sessions come to be? You guys in the Use are Sarah's favorite band, by the way.
Ooh, fuck yeah! Thank you so much.
Surprised she didn't ask the lottery question. But how did the Blackbird sessions come about?
Yeah, that was one of those things that I've always been heavily influenced by like folk, like old gospel hymns and stuff like that. Growing up, my mom's side of the family, they're from a place called Benton, Kentucky, like legit one stoplight town. And, the Mountain Man kind of music with like all the harmonies and like Ralph Stanley kind of stuff. That was just always around growing up, and I loved it. And like, I'm not a country fan. Like I don't listen to any pop country. That's not really my jam, but like old school, like folk country, like deep in the mountains, like washboards kind of shit, that I love. So I was like, you know what, let's do, instead of, because our label wanted us to do an acoustic thing, and they were like, let's do it in this big thing in LA with we'll get a string section and it'll be this whole thing. And I was like, no, that's not really us. And I was like, you know what, I'll do it in Nashville at Blackbird where I cut the record. That would be cool. And, we we got a fiddle player. We got an amazing female vocal. We got a like lap steel player. It was really, really cool. And it just was kind of one of those things where I very quickly, kind of demoed out on Cubase, just like some ideas with like the chord progressions and like general groove, and sent it out. And yeah, I mean, we rehearsed once. Like we had, SIR or whatever the spot is in Nashville. We did one rehearsal, and, the players came in, had, they just wrote their own chord charts out, and then they just melted. I mean, first try, like all of them were just fucking perfect. The vocalist, I believe her name was Jessica. She came in day of. She didn't even practice with us. She just came in, and she just knew. She just,
bro.
just fucking like literal trained pros. Like all they do is sessions all the time. And and that's just kind of how it happened. It was like, I just wanted to capture that kind of emotion from my childhood. And I was like, we did it in Nashville. Let's do a Nashville style session. Yeah. And it was, and then that was it, man. It just, awesome. It all happened. Just one day, go in, knock them out, and a few takes of each track, choose the best one.
It's awesome. I feel like this is a story on our end of how I think just like-minded people just share an energy, and there's a thing. But literally, Porter just said in the chat, he's like, I tried to convince the band years ago to do country versions of the songs. We never did it. So he was stoked when he saw you guys. And when you guys did it, he was like, I told you. Like, I fucking I told you. We're like, oh, fuck. But we always had, like, one of our warm-ups was, we have a song off of In Our Wake called Anger Left Behind. And there's like a 3-part harmony. So we always do, actually it's a 4-part harmony. So we do the harmonies to warm up for, like, before we play.
Dude, Eagle style, man.
Yeah, and it transferred to doing it in, like, country voice. You know what I mean? And like, and Porter's like, we should do albums that are like versions of like an EP that's like versions of like 5 songs at a time in different genres. And Porter's like, dude, we should do country. Like, and he started like focusing on, we could do this song, we could do this song, whatever. You guys put yours out. He's like, hello? Like, guys, I told you.
Sorry, Porter. Just
So good.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I love it.
Gotta hit it while the iron's hot.
Exactly. He's from fucking born and raised in Alabama, and he's
Oh,
the same way. He could give a fuck about anything new, but that's what he listens to, like old country, and that's great. I love
the
that
roots,
vibe.
man. Fuck
I love that. That is it's fun to like. The COVID kind of forced this too, but towards the beginning of COVID, I did like a solo, like live from my living room streaming thing, and I had like a dude come in and do projection on like my dining room wall, and like like this dude Fred, who's produced Hell or High Water and Atreyu as well, did like the audio, and I did all these versions of our songs that were like acoustic or like kind of more like digital, you know, like electronic. And a buddy of mine who plays, he's in a electronic duo called Dance with the Dead. Our friend Tommy.
Yeah, dude, I fuck with them heavy.
They're so good. We've been trying
Which also randomly, I you know, back when it was warm, at least in Ohio, I was getting out and walking like 6 to 8 miles every morning, just like walking as fast as I could, just trying to slowly get back in shape because I fucked myself over from the first like 2 months of COVID. And I found Ashi hit me with that record or one of their albums. And he was like, dude, listen to this shit while you're working out. And I fell in love with it. I was like, this is such a cool, it's like metal, EDM. Like this is like some shit I actually haven't ever heard before. And then like a few weeks later, I saw that you were on one of their tracks.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. Well, he fucks with this band. Like that's
for sure. Those are like two of Travis's like oldest friends.
Hell yeah.
But he helped me do all these versions, and I was like, dude, this is dope. I love the idea of trying to like do completely different genre bends on like reimagining songs. I kind of fuck with it's kind of what Ronnie's doing with Falling in Reverse shit. Like how like he's just doing different ass versions. I'm like, that's kind of a cool idea, like to just give completely new life to jams. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like dude, that shit's fun as hell, man. I got the opportunity to do like a remix for a Motionless song.
Yeah.
In like a total, you know, 80s synthwave kind of vibe thing. And it was really fun. And it really opened me up to like how songs can be perceived in so many different ways. And like it's just fucking dope, man. It's a really cool vibe. And I definitely need to get on that more, like experimenting, and because people really dig that stuff.
For sure.
To be honest, the Blackbird Sessions is like a niche fan enjoys the Blackbird Sessions. Majority of people were like, Beartooth's a country band now, and we're just like, no, like Jesus
people
Christ.
Are so permanent. It's like it's like, you know how like my 2.5-year-old right now is going through a big issue where she's dealing with object permanence. So like if she has a toy and you take toy, in her head that toy's gone forever.
Gone.
Like she doesn't understand.
Never to be seen again.
Yeah. So it's like, dude, I swear to God, so many people have like this weird object permanence where it's like, you do something as like, oh, we did this special version of these songs. Like, well, you're a country band now? It's like,
yep. Dude, no. There were so many people who were like genuinely upset that we even dabbled in those waters, man.
Because how dare you be creative?
Right.
How dare you?
How dare you expand on your sound at all or have a thing to do for fun? But yeah, I mean, I think eventually people were like, you know, when we started playing shows a month later, people were like, oh, okay, that was just one day in a studio they did for fun. I can breathe.
I love it. I love being in and you're about to be there again too, being in the space of releasing new music, especially in our current band internal, you know, climate with our fans.
Yeah.
I love the internet so much. It gives me so much entertainment, what people come up with. Like, are you someone that looks or peeks at that shit, or do you just like, are you like, I can't even involve myself?
I generally completely check out from that. But I know for sure I'm going to be surfing comments like
it's the
crazy
best,
when we drop our single, because like, I don't know. It is a different sound for us. This whole new album. It's not different by a different sound. I mean, there's a new guitar tone. There's a new tone to the record. We've always had the same general tone, which is your classic kind of AC/DC on steroids, like some sort of Marshall, with a boost in front of it, cranked up, playing
Yeah.
a Gibson SG. That's always been the thing.
Yeah.
But this new album, I started diving deep into a bunch of different pedals, and like I came up with this wild guitar sound that I'm really, really excited about. But I'm just really curious to see how people take it and be like, what
Yeah.
the fuck happened?
What you guys
But
do?
hopefully they dig it. Yeah.
It's gonna be
But I couldn't be
because-
more stoked, dude. I
Yeah.
literally, oh my God, it's felt like it's never going to happen for so long.
Same.
And now the date is finally approaching where we're going to put something out. And I'm in that mode of terrified. Like, are people going to like it? Are people going to hate it? Like, how is this going to go? You know what I mean? Because you just never know.
You
The
never
record's
know.
done. You've heard it a million times,
Yeah.
and then you put it out and you're like, oh, we'll see.
Here we go. Yeah.
And
I
usually
love
it
that
goes
shit.
well. And
Yeah, it
usually,
goes well.
you know,
Facebook's not good. People,
Facebook,
I think people
hard no
only, I think 80% of people only are on Facebook so they can shit on bands that they love. Like, I love your band, man, but this shit is horrible. It's like,
dude.
I'm gonna do that next time I go to
What?
Subway. Next time I go to Subway, I'll be like, yo, man, I really, really enjoy these sandwiches usually. But this one can suck my ass. Fuck
You know,
fuck your
this-
life.
This BMT is trash.
Yeah. Fuck you forever for that. But I still love the curse, though.
Oh man, it's so funny, dude. Because like there are, I mean, it's definitely not. Well, I think it's more obvious with the internet now.
Yes.
But there are so many people that are just attached to one album or one sound or one thing you did, and if you remotely go away from that, they're just like, this is fucking trash, this is bullshit. And it's like, dude, like, I'm not gonna just put out the same exact record 5 times. Like, no band could ever survive doing that. It's impossible.
One of my favorite things on earth in modern day is when people are like, your new shit sucks, you fucking sellouts, go back to lead sales. And I'm like, that was our sellout record. That's the
one.
That's the first record we did where everyone was like, you fucking sellouts. And I'm like, what? Like, wait, you got your info wrong, man.
Do you want us to sell out? Do you want us to not sell out? What do you want?
I don't under, that's the one we got shit on for the first time.
Yeah, this song is way too good, way too well thought out. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like this, dude. The radio's playing it all the time. Your guys' shows are getting too big. I don't like this.
If you're not playing in a smaller than 200 cap, I'm out.
I don't want it. Yeah, no fucking dice.
Oh man.
I went to the grocery store. Yeah, went to the grocery store. Somebody knew what my shirt was. I don't like this.
Out. Burned it. Next day.
I went to Ralph's. There's a Ralph's by my house. I got a Ralph's and a Trader Joe's. Let's talk adult things for 1 second.
Yeah.
Ralph's and a Trader Joe's. Ralph's is my staple grocery store. Trader Joe's is where I go most of the time for most things that I don't care about at Ralph's.
Right.
So I've been going there for fucking years. At Trader Joe's, there's 3 Atreyu fans that work there. Super cool. First time I went in there, like, you're an Atreyu. I'm like, yes. And they're cool, and that's just what we are. I'm going to this Ralph for like a decade. This dude, out of nowhere, I'm wearing one of our hoodies, and he's like, "Oh, that's a cool shirt or a cool hoodie." He's like, "That's an old school thing." I'm like, "Yeah, we remade it." And he's like, "Cool." He's like, "It's a great band. I love that band." I'm like, "Oh, thanks, man. Like, appreciate that." Totally doesn't understand that I just thanked him. I wouldn't thank him for liking my sweatshirt. I don't think, if I was just a guy with that sweatshirt. And then he starts going on. He's like, "What's your favorite album?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's a tough one, but like probably this one, and like because of this and blah blah blah." And he's like, "Oh yeah, mine's this, whatever." And we start rapping about Atreyu songs back and forth while he's checking my groceries. He still doesn't. I don't think he gets it. Still.
Not a clue. He just thinks you're a dude who gets down. This guy who's down with the band. Yeah,
he's like, that dude's knowledgeable about that band. That's crazy.
Man, this guy seriously knows a shocking amount of the ins and outs and the inner workings of this band. Man, he must be a big fan.
He was telling me about like the guitar player's eating habits. Like, I don't know, it's crazy.
I don't know
how he knows all these things.
Man.
Yeah, I love
Deep dive.
I love
That's
that
fucking
shit.
fantastic, dude. I love that. That's great. Those are the best, though. If there's your random, like, that scenario, pretty much that scenario specifically. If you're like wearing a thing or something, and then it's like, "Oh, that's dope." Yeah, thanks. And then
dude.
that's just it. And it's just like, cool. Like, thanks. that I would much rather somebody be like, oh, cool shirt, than be like, oh, hey, you're that dude. Because like, yeah, you know, I'm that dude, but I just want to. I just want our band to be having fun and successful and able to do it for long.
I just want to buy this coffee and turkey lunch meat. Like I just needed these two things.
Yeah,
but I started physical therapy on my hand because I destroyed myself on the 2nd of January. But I started physical therapy like a month ago, and the same thing. I was wearing a Atreyu hoodie. I'm that guy. I wear my own band merch.
Hey man, fuck it. You've earned it at this point.
I like it.
You did your time. You can wear your merch.
We do the whole first visit. I put my hoodie on to leave. She's like, "Oh, Atreyu, like I love that band." I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome." I'm like, "Thank you." She's like, "Yeah, like I've loved that band like my whole life. I just never got to go see them because my parents wouldn't let me go to metal shows." I'm like, "Oh, that sucks. Well, you'll have to come see us when COVID like comes back." She's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, I'm in that band. I'm in this band." She's like, "No offense, but I don't remember names of dudes in rock bands. I just think of like the band name. I don't pay attention. Like obviously like Justin Timberlake or like Rihanna, that's their name. So like I remember their names, but as a band, she's like, I don't think about it." She's like, "I feel like such an idiot." She goes, "Oh shit, we really got to get your hand working, don't we?" I'm like, I guess so. Yeah.
Let's fucking grind.
Yeah.
See, but also I kind of dig that. I think that's sick. Like I had a somewhat similar encounter once. I had to go get some blood drawn for something, and the nurse came in and she had a Beartooth mask on.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Oh, cool mask." And she was like, "Yeah, thanks. Like I really dig the band." And then that was it. And I was just like, I love that was all it was. That it was just like
aloofness.
Yeah, you dig the band. You're like, this is a cool mask. I like the band. I'll just rock this at work.
Yeah.
And that's the only interaction. You know what I mean? That to me, I think I enjoy that a lot more than somebody being like, holy shit. And it like being a whole thing.
It's a much better encounter. It's rare that people, if they are like the, oh shit, that it ends at like, oh shit. And that's, oh cool. See ya. It's always like, oh fuck man. And you're like, it's cool. Like, let's just chill.
And then it becomes kind of a thing. And like I have one dude at my local grocery store that like it's definitely cool now. It's like everything's just I just go in, he's like, oh hey man. But yeah, when I first started going in, he was like a really big fan of the band, and I like followed me out to my car and like talking my ear off, and I'm just like, all right brother, like I'll see you around. But yeah, then after a while it's just like, oh hey, like what's up pal?
Exactly.
Easy enough.
You do start to think though, like before people knew, like the Trader Joe specifically, before I realized people knew, you think back and you're like, man, I sure have come into this store looking like a complete piece of shit. like
dude,
fucking stain on my shirt,
God.
like shitty fucking warm-up shorts and flip-flops, like just like.
Dude, I literally thought about that. I was like, the amount of times I've come into this Kroger in some like every year my mom gets me pajama pants, like the like super all over print with like animals and
standard Christmas shit.
Yeah, exactly. And I literally will live in those things. I'm like, the amount of times I've gone in to Kroger with like that, a fucking like huge parka, and like I just look like a homeless person.
Like,
I look like a fucking I'm like slippers on. And, it's 2 in the afternoon. I'm like on a Wednesday.
Or you have it's morning and you're like, I definitely have not brushed my teeth this morning.
No. No fucking chance. Absolutely not.
Craig Mabbitt with a little raid. Thanks, Craig.
Craig! God damn, dude. I fucking miss that guy. I haven't seen Craig in years, dude.
I know. He's a good dude, man.
One of the best.
Fucking guy. I've have such a history with that band. I've worked on so many Escape to Fate records at this point.
Fuck yeah.
It's awesome.
We worked together a few times back in the day.
Yeah, that's legit, man. I love it, dude. Well, fuck, this has been awesome. You've officially been on longer than anyone so far, which is I appreciate.
I'm here to party.
It's been a lot of fun, dude.
Right on, dude. Thanks.
I love talking to you. I love hanging with you, man. Like you're one of the good ones. You're truly like. I am very much still decades later. Like I'm a fan of music. I'm a fan of bands. Like, and
Absolutely.
I let go of the sort of, I don't know, just like the competition woes that bands can have. I like made a conscious effort to let go of that like a long time ago. And I truly like, I'm a fan of our peers, and like you guys are legit one of those bands that I like love seeing you guys succeed.
Dude, thank you, man.
Last summer in Europe with like your fucking pyro and all the slots you were playing, like Porter can probably attest to it. I was talking about you guys the whole time we were in Europe. I'm like, fuck, it's fucking killing it. Look at this shit. Look at it fucking killing it. Like, I love that. Like, I love that Motionless is huge. Like, I love Architects, bro. We took Architects out they were like 2 of 5 or on a tour with us like 8 years ago, and they're just killing it. Like, I bought the vinyl in 2 colors. Like, like, so it's Absolutely. Like, I'm still that guy, and you guys are just one of those bands that I love watching succeed, and I love seeing like your creativity pay off. And you're a good dude.
Thank you so much, man. That means the world. Like, I mean, I think that's just the way that anybody in a band needs to be to like just understand how growth works. And like, I just love that so much, man. And it's so cool to like have peers that are so uplifting. And because I think that's just one of those things that you grow up. And if you're a real fan of music, you just realize all I want is watching my boys kill it. Yeah. Like, that's definition. Watch my boys kill it. Like, anytime I see a band throw something out or is doing something good, I'm like, this just brings me so much joy to see that like this person that is putting all this effort is fucking paying off, man.
Well, it makes me happy for the genre or the scene, for lack of a better word these days. But like, water rises with the ships. Like, if we all do good, it's good for all of us. Like, I love that. But no, just you're a fucking good dude, man, and I appreciate your friendship, and it was good talking with you, man.
Yeah, dude, I'll hit you up with that the single we're gonna drop. I want to hear what you think, man.
I would love to.
Yeah, I'll give you a little taste.
I'll send you some goodies too.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Love it,
All
man.
right, brother. Well, I'm gonna go check on them ribs, see how they're doing.
Enjoy the ribs.
All right. Hey, seriously, dude. Thanks again so fucking much for having me. Anytime, I'm fucking here. And at some point, whenever things are normal again, and I'm out in LA doing writing, let's fucking get in a room and rock, dude. That'd 100%. Be awesome.
100%. That'd be great.
All right, bro.